Hi everybody! In this video, we'll learn how to write an essay from the outline to the essay draft, or first version of your essay. In the video description below, find links to PDFs that can be used along with this video in class, and links to longer, more detailed videos about essay writing with many more examples. If this video helps you, it'll help me if you give it a like and subscribe to my channel at youtube.com/EnglishUnits. In this video, we'll focus on the 5-paragraph essay. Remember, there are many ways to write an essay and an essay outline. This video shows just one of those ways. So let's get started. First, we'll do the outline. On the left side, I'm going to show you each part of an essay outline and explain what that part does and is. On the right side, I'm going to give you an example of each part. Notice that in this outline, each body paragraph only has 2 detailed sentences. I used only 2 to keep this video as short as possible, but in your outlines and essays, you should definitely use 3 detailed sentences, not 2 in each body paragraph, because using 3 will make your essay and outline more complete. Remember as we begin that the goal of your essay is to answer a question. That question is your prompt. So let's look at the prompt that I'll write this example to. Tell about a person you admire. Write an essay that explains your answer. Let's write the thesis statement first. There are parts in your outline and your essay that come before the thesis statement, like the hook and background information. But it's quicker and easier to write those parts after we've written the thesis statement. For a basic essay like this one, I recommend writing your thesis statement as a 1-sentence answer to the prompt. My answer to this prompt is, I admire my friend Sarah. That is the main idea of our thesis statement. Now we need to add reasons. Because we're writing a 5-paragraph essay, I'm going to add 3 reasons to my thesis statement. So why do I admire my friend Sarah? Because she's unique, brave, and honest. Reason number 1 is that she's unique. Reason number 2 is that she's brave. And reason number 3 is that she's honest. Now, I'll discuss each of the 3 reasons in the essay body paragraphs. To do this, we make each reason into a topic sentence. Let's start with reason 1 and body paragraph 1. Reason 1 why I admire Sarah is because she's unique. Let's turn that reason into a topic sentence for body paragraph 1. Sarah is a unique individual. Let's continue with reason 2 and body paragraph 2. Reason 2 why I admire my friend Sarah is that she's brave. Let's turn that reason into the topic sentence for body paragraph 2. Sarah is the bravest person I know. And now for reason 3. Let's turn reason 3 into the topic sentence for body paragraph 3. Sarah is an honest person. One really important tip for essay writing is to avoid repeating the same sentence in your essay. You should also avoid repeating words and phrases too many times in your essay. Try to use different words whenever possible. And finally, use a variety of sentence constructions or types of sentences in your essay. For example, we could have written topic sentences that said, Sarah is unique, Sarah is brave, Sarah is honest. But those sentence constructions are exactly the same, and that's boring for a reader. So, I changed them just a little so that each of those topic sentences is unique. Okay, we got our topic sentences complete. Now we need to go back and fill in our detail sentences and conclusion sentences for each body paragraph. So let's go back to body paragraph 1, where our topic sentence is, Sarah is a unique individual. We need to explain what that sentence means, and we'll do that by adding detail sentence 1 and detail sentence 2. A detail sentence is a detail, fact, example, or other type of information that explains the topic sentence. In some cases, a detail sentence will prove that what we said in our topic sentence is correct. So, what do I mean when I say Sarah is a unique individual? What is unique about Sarah? For detail sentence 1, I'll give this example. She wears colorful clothes and unusual hairstyles. Do you see how that detail explains what I mean in my topic sentence? Not everyone wears colorful clothes and unusual hairstyles. That's a little different, and it makes Sarah unique. Let's add detail sentence 2. She loves creative activities like origami and calligraphy. Again, those activities are not activities that everyone in the world loves. So that sentence explains to the reader another way that Sarah is unique. Now let's write our conclusion sentence for body paragraph 1. In the conclusion sentence, we want to connect the topic sentence of our paragraph back to the main idea in our thesis statement. Remember, the main idea in the thesis statement is the basis of everything else we write. So if we revisit that idea in our conclusion sentences, it helps us to keep everything connected. So here, we need to connect the topic of body paragraph 1, that Sarah's unique, back to the main idea in the thesis statement that this is a reason I admire Sarah. So we could write the conclusion sentence, I admire Sarah because she's unique. But we want to avoid repeating the words admire and unique too much in our essay. So we can rephrase that just a little. Sarah is interesting because she is different. Now let's move on to body paragraph 2. The topic sentence reads, Sarah is the bravest person I know. Here, we need to write detailed sentences that explain what I mean by that or that prove that topic sentence is true. Remember, to do this, we use a detail, fact, example, or other information. She tries new things. That sentence explains why Sarah is brave. She doesn't just do the things she's comfortable doing every day. She tries something different that she doesn't know how to do yet. That's brave. But that sentence isn't quite enough information because when we say Sarah tries new things, the reader doesn't know what we mean. Do we mean that Sarah tries new activities like flying airplanes, moving to a new country, or something else? For example, she learned programming and robotics. That sentence provides 2 examples so that the reader knows what we're talking about. Now let's add detail sentence 2. People said robotics is difficult, but Sarah tried it anyway. She loved it. Do you see how this detail sentence emphasizes or proves that Sarah's brave? And finally, we need to write the conclusion sentence for body paragraph 2. We've explained how Sarah's brave, but the conclusion sentence needs to connect this idea back to the thesis statement main idea that I admire Sarah. We could write, I admire my friend Sarah because she's the bravest person I know. But as we've learned, that would repeat too many words and phrases. So let's change those words just a little. Sarah's courage inspires me. Now let's finish body paragraph 3 in our outline. Our topic sentence for body paragraph 3 is Sarah is an honest person. Now we need to write detail sentences that explain or prove that this is true. For detail sentence 1, I wrote, she doesn't gossip or spread false information about other people. This is a simple fact, but it clearly explains why we feel that Sarah is honest. And now detail sentence 2. Sarah is dependable. If she says she will do something, she does it. So do you see how that detail sentence helps explain what we mean by our topic sentence that Sarah is an honest person? We're explaining that or proving that it's true with the detail sentence. And finally, our conclusion sentence. Remember that in the conclusion sentence, we want to link the topic sentence, that Sarah is honest, back to the main idea of the thesis statement that this is a reason I admire Sarah. We could write, I admire my friend Sarah because she's honest, but remember, we don't want to repeat words and phrases, so let's use slightly different words to avoid repeating. I respect Sarah for her reliable and trustworthy character. So we've completed the outline section for our 3 body paragraphs. Now let's write the section of our outline for the conclusion paragraph. There are many ways to write a conclusion paragraph. The way I'm going to show you is simple, and it creates a conclusion paragraph that does exactly what it should, which is to tie all of the information you've presented together and then end the essay on a strong final statement. Note that in the conclusion paragraph, you should not introduce completely new facts or statistics. All of that should have already been done by the time you're writing your conclusion. But it is okay to put a new twist on facts or statistics that you've already included in your essay. So let's write the first sentence of our conclusion paragraph. So by the time the reader reaches your conclusion paragraph, it's been a long time since that reader has reviewed the thesis statement. So I recommend using the first sentence of your conclusion paragraph to restate or rephrase your thesis statement main idea. My friend Sarah is admirable for many reasons. And of course, as always, we avoid repeating words and phrases exactly. So you see how this sentence communicates the same idea as our thesis statement main idea, it just uses slightly different words. Next, review reasons 1, 2, and 3. Even though your reader just read a paragraph about each reason, those paragraphs treated the reasons separately. In the conclusion paragraph, it's good to pull them all together, put them side by side, and again, as always, use slightly different wording than we used before. Sarah is different. She has courage. People know that Sarah is reliable. And finally, for the last sentence in our conclusion paragraph, we need to include a last thought that is a strong final statement. That last thought can tell a result, prediction, or recommendation based on your thesis statement. There are other types of last thoughts or final statements as well, but for me, those 3 types are the easiest ones I can use to make a strong final statement that isn't overly cliche. As a result, people of all ages adore Sarah. I feel lucky to have a close friend like her. So we finished the conclusion paragraph, but remember, we started our introduction paragraph with the thesis statement. We still need to go back and do the first parts of our introduction paragraph. And now it'll be pretty easy to do those parts because we know exactly who we're writing about and what we've already said about that person. So, the first sentence in our essay is called the hook. The hook is an interesting sentence about your topic that gets the attention of your readers and hopefully makes them want to read your essay. So in this essay, our hook needs to be an interesting sentence to introduce Sarah to the reader. One student in my school is impossible to ignore. That statement might make a reader interested in reading my essay because the reader might think, wow, who is this student who's impossible to ignore? And why is this student impossible to ignore? Right after the hook, we need to give the reader background information about our topic. This background information can include facts, statistics, opinions, or other types of information on the topic of our essay. This background information connects the essay hook to the thesis statement, so it's often called the bridge of your introduction paragraph. No matter what your essay topic is, there are probably hundreds of facts that you could write about that topic. In this part of our essay, we need to choose the background information that best helps the reader understand our thesis statement and the rest of the essay. For the first background sentence, I'll continue from my hook, plus add a detail about Sarah's personality. She's quiet, but everyone notices her. This helps the reader imagine the person I'm writing about. For the next background sentence, it's very important for the reader to know who this person is and how this person is connected to me. Her name is Sarah, and she's my best friend. So we've finished our essay outline. Here's what your final outline assignment would look like. Now it's time to transfer the outline information into an actual essay. We'll go ahead and put that first sentence into our essay. Let's change the font from handwriting to typed writing. So go ahead and pull that second sentence over. Instead of putting it on the next line, put it right behind the first sentence, and we'll continue with the other sentences in this paragraph in the same way. And then we'll do the same with paragraph 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there we are. We have completed our essay draft. Of course, this is just our first draft, so we still need to proofread and edit this essay. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my very best to answer. Thank you for watching.